Hi, I'm Hazel. It's Saturday today, which makes it time to sit down and catch up on the WoW news of the week, what I've been up to, and answer some of your questions. I have changed more things. It may not be done. Not in love with the framing. We'll work on it. This week in WoW news, we have 9.1 news in the most minimal sense of the word, but we got a blue post this week saying that the 9.1 PTR is coming in about 2 weeks. This post was released on the date I'm putting on the screen because I don't remember right now. There will be raid testing announcements approximately a week after that. It is nice to have something to block into the calendar, even if it's not for a bit yet. This statement is coming in amongst increasingly heated speculation about when 9.1 could possibly be, as every passing week of not news made it seem more and more concerning, I guess. It's a little bit odd for a gap like this to exist in this point in the expansion cycle. A lot of people are kind of getting wrapped up in finishing with the 9.0 content. Many people are kind of completing their goals. And it's just strange to have a gap like this, like I said, after the first patch and not like at the very end of the expansion. Castle Nathria launched in early December of last year, which means that right now it is over 4 months old. And raid testing will often take place for multiple months before a raid comes out. So like 3 to 5 is relatively typical. So let's just, speculate, even with like an accelerated raid testing timeline. Let's say raid testing comes out and 2 months later, that's when the raid drops. That still puts the Sanctum of Domination raid release in the summer, 7 or so months after the release of Castle Nathria, which is the kind of gap you expect to see at the end of an expansion. And that's like an optimistic timeline. I am curious, but not too pressed about the delay myself because I have been keeping busy with Shadowlands Mountain pet collecting. I'm quite behind on that still. I have all kinds of Path of Ascension to dig through. Alts have been really fun. I've been poking around with Fire Mage a little bit on a low level character. And then I don't know if anybody ever really finishes PvP. So there's always that. Those things aren't for everybody though. And I know a lot of people are going to be just taking a break until 9.1. Other things this week, we found out that Demon Hunter tanks were evidently too tanky. There was a bug making them take, 15% less magic damage that is just so egregious that they are fixing it, but so that they do not completely ruin the day of the Demon Hunter tank, they are reducing their physical damage taken instead, and then everybody, all the tanks are getting a cookie because they're also having their physical mitigation passives buffed. So bottom line is that Demon Hunter tanks were in fact broken, and that's been hotfixed, but across the board, tanks should feel a little bit tankier. In other news, the Doctors Without Borders charity drive continues. We are now about $700,000 towards the $1 million needed for Daisy the Sloth. I will link that down below if you have not contributed and you have the means to and you would like to. That is where it is, and that's also where you can check on the progress. Deadline for that goal, I believe, is April the 26th. And in news that is just so not news, but irritated me anyways. Like, this is you guys see the BattleNet launcher icon has changed with a new update? It used to look like this, and now it looks like this. What's that about? It is different, and I am far too annoyed in a way that is not rational. Why is it round? Why is it lighter? Why does it kind of look like a Bluetooth icon if I'm not wearing my glasses? This is just kind of the epitome of a change that does not matter and is not hurting anybody and therefore shouldn't really be controversial. But I'm upset anyways just because I guess I hate change. In Live WoW, Noblegarden will be starting this upcoming week. There is a new thing for Venthyr. There is some kind of Ember Court interaction or buff. I couldn't describe it to you too specifically because it's both only been data mined and also I'm not a Venthyr and I don't speak Ember Court. I don't know what's going on with that. But if you're a Venthyr, keep an eye out for that once the event starts. I believe it is Monday for North America. Check your in-game calendars. And for the rest of us, nothing to report yet. If there's something new, we'll find out about it when it goes live. But based on their pace of updating holidays in the last couple of years, I'm not really expecting much. And in my life this week, I am pretty much moved in. I have been getting settled and building furniture and cleaning and kind of figuring out my new routines, or lack thereof. I have gotten the hang of getting my gas range lit, so my odds of dying in an explosion have diminished somewhat. I now know somewhat what I'm doing there. I got a blacklight to aid me in cleaning my carpet. And that told me some things that I could have probably lived my life and never known. And the studio is coming together. I made a bench for my Moonkin and for my plushies, because it did not seem right to have them sitting on the floor, especially after I discovered that the floor is a tiny little bit cursed. And I got Kitty Cat here with me. Kira has arrived. She is here. She seems to like her new bed very much. She's been wonderful company and definitely makes the place feel less empty, which is nice. And also, not news, but I am changing my hair tomorrow, or today as you see this, so this is the last week of pink-haired Hazel. And questions from this week, Blazing Echo asks, if I don't run Mythic Plus Dungeons, what do I do with Valor? I get it from Callings, haven't found anything to use it for. So, there is a vendor in Oribos here, and they will sell you trade mats for it. So you go to the vendor, you buy whatever is most valuable on your server, check first, and then you can post those mats on the auction house, or I suppose use them if you need them, but that way you can kind of cash out extra Valor for gold if you're not going to use it for gear. And Eat the Pie asks, how is Valheim going? Bronze Age? Iron Age? Found all the bosses nearby, or have you been sailing? So, I have been sailing. I beat Bone Mass, and I'm kind of in this phase where I would like to find the trader, but the trader does not want to be found, and I need to mine some silver. But I had some consecutive boat tragedies that were kind of disheartening, and I've recovered my losses now. I have a new boat. I have gotten everything back that I lost, but that kind of wore me out a little bit, and I've been having a really hard time finding a good spot to mine silver from, to take it home and like keep progressing, and I cannot. I think I'm quite close to being able to craft some gear that will keep me warm so I don't have to keep chugging frost resist mead. I was trying for the wolf head cloak, but the trophy just would not drop for me, so String of Bad Luck kind of put me off Valheim for a little bit, and also I kind of got busy, but I do want to pick it back up again because I am somebody that if I put a game down for too long, I can't just pick back up where I left off. If I leave a game for longer than like a month, I have to start over. Like I log into my old save file and I'm like, I don't know who played this, but it wasn't me. And then I have to start from scratch. So my clock is ticking for me to get back to it if I don't want to have to start completely over. And I put a lot of work into my base and I don't want to do that. And Theodoros asks, could you explain how to get PvP sets? Where are the vendors? How long left to get the mount sets, etc.? Sure, yes. So the short version, current season's Vicious Mount and Glad Mount and Elite sets, those are the limited duration goodies. Those are going to be available for the rest of the season, which should last basically until 9.1. That means that we don't have an exact date for how long it's going to be, but we can expect it to be until summer, roughly. I would estimate like another couple of months. And we'll know more about the deadline as it gets closer and as they have release dates for that kind of thing. Gear sets are available at the vendors. So you've got PvP vendors here in Oribos. There's an Honor vendor selling you Honor gear, a Conquest vendor selling you Conquest gear. Conquest will come from rated PvP and Honor will come from all PvP. And then if you were looking for old PvP sets for Transmog, for that you're going to want Marks of Honor, which come again from PvP. Those are an item that's account bound, so you can trade them around to your different characters. And you can find vendors for those all over the place because they're for all sorts of past expansions. There's a bunch of them in Dalaran. There's a bunch of them in Legion Dalaran. There are some in BFA zones. Netherstorm, I want to say. They're all over the place depending on the expansion. So that was where I went to figure out where the different vendors were for Transmog, PvP Transmog. And that has been my week. Thank you very much for watching. I cannot wait for 9.1 news to start to heat up. If you have a question that you would like me to answer in a news video, please leave it in the comments and include the word question to help me find it. Stop by a stream sometime if you like, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.